Time to stream.
I think it's going to work this time. There was a lot of testing that went in today to get the stream. And I think it has succeeded. Let's see here. Can anyone confirm? Yes, we're live. Okay.
Notifications.
Awesome. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Cool. All right. Who has wins for this week? Who has created momentum in their business or in their life?
I'll go. I'll go. Since nobody else is speaking up. We rented out a window site in Charlotte, North Carolina today. We collected a handful of cash since last call. I wasn't on last week's call because I was doing a house project. So, but I did share a great prospecting method with Patrick. I don't know, Patrick, you want me to comment on that as a win as well, or?
Yeah, let's hold off because that's pretty tied to our presentation that we have. It's kind of a twist on what we're going to be presenting. So we'll jump into that, and I'll kind of like have you we'll tag team it.
Okay. What's up, Beerend?
Yeah, I'm doing.
What's up, Beerend? How are you, man?
Doing great.
It's good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah. I'm getting leads since Monday.
You got leads?
5 leads today already. Yeah.
Man, that's cool. So we went from like no, we can't get GMBs. Now we got GMBs. Now we got leads. You know what comes next, right?
Prospecting and deals.
Money is going to start coming in. The money follows the leads. So
yeah,
that's awesome, man. I know that I admire your persistence because I know that you have struggled through things and the kid's resilient, man. And that's I think that is.
It even got a little bit worse because my dad got a little bit upset, and he with the new Wi-Fi router, he doesn't want to give me the password because he doesn't want me to do this business.
Wow.
But I was like, hey, I'll just buy my own internet then for my phone.
Yeah.
It's a question whether he's actually going to do it, but you see how toxic that is.
Oh man, yeah, that's not a good environment to be in, and
I have to say though, it's only 5% of the time. Like usually I'm at work or in my own room.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. Well, we should definitely let's you and let's carry on this conversation, and let's because I know a little bit of what you've been through, and it's I think your energy, and despite these things, your energy and your attitude is what is going to that's going to be the change, because some people are going to fall into this category of like a victim, and there's other ones that are going to be like motivated, and they're going to make a difference because of this. And it's clearly the decision you made, and it's empowering when you start to kind of like realize that you have the ability to change your future and change things.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on the new leads coming in, man. I'm excited to see where this goes. I already know where it's going, but I'm excited for you to experience it, So super cool, man.
Yeah, glad to have made Cook my bitch and be able to get GMBs on demand, right? So
right, that's right. Cool, awesome. Who else has some wins? We got the wins.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Alfredo, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I did my first face-to-face prospecting presentation or whatnot. So that was super, interesting, cool, different for me. So I got 2 invoices out there. So those just happened today. So I'm just waiting for them to get cashed in and paid and move on to the next step. But that was pretty exciting.
Cool, man. That's great to see, man. It seems like every week you're kind of like plugging along one more thing. You've got like one more like one more stick on the fire there every week, and it's cool. It's cool to see the progression. All right, man. Cool. Who else we got on here? We got Craig from Florida. What's up, brother? We got Chadwick, Thomas, Mike D from Houston. We got Solon. I know Solon, this is your first call, right? new to the group, guys. He
Yeah.
was one of the guys that I've been going back and forth with over the last week. I know that I know you're believing in the process and you're believing in the results, but it's one thing when you see other people having it. It's another one when like the money goes into your own bank account, man. So I think you're in the right spot, man. I'm excited for you to be here and you know, you you sound like you've been working really hard, and it's just sometimes that like adjustment and applying it in the right direction can make all the difference in the world and output. And we all have to make mistakes, you know, along the way. And I made a ton of them. You know, I've shared this before, but I was in this for 2 years before I got to $4,000 a month because I was just doing the wrong things and making a lot of mistakes. Then, you know, over like the next like 14, 16 months, we got to $40,000 a month. It was just a question of adjusting and putting our time towards the right things, you know, putting our time towards the revenue generating activities and the things that are going to allow us to scale later on. Right. So really happy to have you on here, man. Good to see you. What's up, Patrick Ruin? You got some more wins for us, brother?
Yeah, not like new deals. Well, I guess one guy finally paid me, but that's kind of a pain in the ass. Probably should fire him. Yeah.
What a different Patrick, man. I love this. I should probably fire him. Before it was the opposite, man. Now it's like, I'm not putting up with any of this bullshit, right?
Yeah. Don't have time for it. Seems it's going good. First week with a couple content writers. So that's a new thing, but it's nice waking up with, you know, stuff already done, stuff that I was doing that really doesn't move the needle that much. It needs to be done, but it's not what's bringing in that new income. So that's, you know, I guess that's a win right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, sometimes the steps look like, you know, making a mistake, or it's little things along the way, hiring our first content writer. Like we don't always realize that like this is actually a big step, right? And sometimes a step is like losing a client, and you're like, okay, I'm learning from that, and now like that's just a part of the process. You know, we get some of these steps are getting like kind of like punched in the mouth a little bit, and like, hey, we can focus on the bad part of that, but it's also it's like something that is an experience that we can take with us and you know, help us move forward. Cool. So congrats on that, getting the content writer stuff in place. Anyone on here that's in the accountability groups? I'd love to, if so, like I'd just love to hear like a little bit of how the experience is going so far. If not, no worries.
This is my first time on the call. Is this a bad time to jump in? And,
no, Mike, what's up, man? I love the first time callers. Yeah.
I guess where do we start? I mean, I have a business already. I have clients, but I definitely need help.
Okay. What do you, so you're a business or your clients, you have a marketing agency?
I have an agency. I'm about between 7 and 10 grand a month, and stayed that way for like the last year. I just lost a big client because the real estate market hit pretty hard. They were like 3,500 a month, and it's kind of been a punch in the chest a little bit, but I'm working on a new project that came off the web. I do my own GMB a little bit. I do postings and some link stuff, and I use some legit stuff, and I have a team in India as well. So
yeah, well, you're in the right place, man. There's a lot of people on both sides of where you are now, and you know, the people that are on kind of the other side that are on like 20, 30K a month. These people,
that's where I want to be.
yeah. It's important to know that like we're always like the people that are at zero want to be where you are, right? And you know, you want to be where the 25Kers are. The 25Kers want to be where the 50s are. I think it's, you know, you probably already know this, but it's important to like understand the progress where you made, because you've already made it past, even though you just like, hey, I just lost a big client and that sucks. And we've felt that many times this year. For my agency, we've had some losses, and you know, we tried to grow too fast, I think, and it doesn't help when the CEO's trying to grow a software company at the same time. And you know, we've made a lot of mistakes, and it's a learning experience. I know that like the guy that was on here at the beginning of the call, when he joined our group, in like November, I think he was at 10K for about 2 years. Like he was kind of like stuck around that. And actually that one of the things by his own admission that has helped him grow the most is the strategy that I'm going to go over tonight. So
Nice.
it's all about like landing clients, which the goal here is for the people that employ these strategies today is like, how can we land a client in the next week? That's what this is about, right? So that's kind of the premise of today's lesson. But so Dennis, right? I'm sorry, Mike. Mike, do you already have an account? Do you have a LeadSnap account?
Yeah, I set it up and I applied for the API, so I'm waiting on that.
So the stuff we're going to do today, the API is great, and there's a lot of advantages, and there's a lot of stuff that is coming that is going to make that more valuable. But the stuff we're going to cover today with landing a client, you don't need an API. You just need like access to. It's going to be a lot of like heat map stuff, and then just some psychology and strategizing, taking advantage of some Facebook stuff. So now I've taught this strategy to a lot of people, and I'll tell you, like, it blows my mind that more people don't take what I've got for you guys tonight and run with it. Like Spencer, he took it and ran with it, and he blew up his business. And I've seen this from Spencer's not the only one. There's probably been 7 or 8 people that I've heard that are like, I took that strategy and it just like absolutely has been a game changer for me. But we've got 1,200 people in the group, and I've actually taught this in other groups. And the people that don't take action on it, I'm like, man, it took me a long time to structure this and position it the way that it is. And if you guys will trust me on this one and run with it, like it can be a game changer. And the problems are going to shift for some of you guys, where this is what I was warning Spencer about when he started landing clients. Your problems are going to shift from like, how do I get clients and sales to like, how do I handle fulfillment, right? Which is like where my agency has been, like, we don't have any problem getting clients and sales. And I know that's a big hurdle for a lot of people. Question is, how are you going to handle the fulfillment if you have a machine that can pump out clients whenever you need them? Like so that's a good problem to have. It's still a problem, and it's one that needs to be solved. And we've got a lot of training on how we've done that as you go through your business. Mike, growth never looks like this. It doesn't. Only for a short period. It kind of looks like this. You're going to go, and then you're going to hit a spot where, and right around like 10 to 15K is where that's like the first threshold. That's the first breaking point. And that's where Spencer got stuck for a long time. And I know there's a lot of people that get stuck at that spot. And then it's going to break again when you get to like 30K, right? Somewhere around there, you're going to have like a client manager. You're going to have a sales person, because you're going to have enough clients that it's hard for you to talk to all of them and still run the business and then still do new sales, right? It starts to get a lot to handle. And then I think it's going to break for a lot of people around like 80 to 100K again. And then I think the next one, and this is just from my efforts of surrounding myself with, trying to surround myself with high level people, trying to put myself in a situation where I'm the dumbest person in the room. The next threshold seems to be around the 250K a month mark. So my agency is dealing with this like 80 to 100K of like, we didn't have enough SOPs in place, and we've retooled. We spent the last year where we haven't really added additional revenue. It's been like, okay, we've got new problems to solve. And those can be challenging when you're trying to scale a software company and deal with like other software issues. And but it's at some point, where you are, I think it's important for you, Mike, to not view this as you're not at the 2K a month where you're trying to feed yourself, or like hopefully, depending on, maybe you got 14 kids and you are, but most people, when they get to 10K, they can.
I got kids and they need shoes.
They need shoes. Yeah. So, I mean, I know bills can stack up, but, you should, I completely lost my train of thought there. I know at the beginning, we're kind of like scrappy, and we're kind of looking for, hey, I've really got to focus on getting money in as quickly as possible because I've got bills to pay. and we start to move into this. And at some point, if you can kind of think about this as like a video game almost, right? Where it's like, I'm trying to beat the boss at the end of this game to get to the next level, right? And as you do that, the next boss is going to be like bigger and badder. Like the 25K boss, 30K boss is going to be a little bit harder to solve, right? You're going to have to, you can't like beat him with a little mirror anymore. Now you got to have like some smoke, and once you beat that guy, you get to cruise for a little while, and then you're going to get to the next boss, and you've got another level to beat. And if you anticipate this and you realize, like what I was saying at the beginning of this call, like if you picture entrepreneurship and growing your business as this like staircase, right? With maybe there's 10,000 steps in it, but really it's never ending. And, some of those steps are losing a client. Some of those are getting a client. So this is important. I came up with this like mentality thing when I spent 10 years playing poker for a living. And it's a very hard thing because you can like, oh, I was a 10-1 favorite 6 times today, and I lost every time because like this unlucky thing happened. And a lot of people are going to use that as like a way to be a victim. But I kind of came up with this idea of like, hey, everybody's got to take out the garbage sometimes, right? Like I got to take the garbage out to the street and it's over. So it's my turn. So there's like, if you like can anticipate that this stuff is going to happen, where it's like you said, it's a big hit in the chest, and that sucks. I get it. But this is your turn to take out the garbage. And I want you to embrace this and learn from it and like absorb it and kind of like soak up how this feels. Ask yourself what you could have done different. Why did this happen? And like not just surface level, why did this happen? Dive deep, like ruminate in it a little bit and be like, take full responsibility. Look for every possible way to take responsibility of this stuff, because just like Beerend, we're talking with Beerend, that's where the empowerment comes from, is when you start to take full responsibility for this stuff and you realize, I could have done this, right? So an example, like if you guys haven't read, what's that guy's name? Jocko Willink. He's Extreme Ownership. It's a book by these Navy SEALs where it's all about taking like ownership for things. It's a phenomenal book. And if you can embody that mentality, then this like, it's a mentality of taking ownership for problems. And when you do that, the other side of it, it's empowering, and like you can start to correct these issues. If you never accept responsibility for them, you're not going to be in the mindset to fix them, and that's going to be very limiting. And like you can't, I would say almost you can't go too far. So like if I'm driving behind a car and I'm in his blind spot and he can't see me and he changes lanes, it hits me. Well, like the law is going to say it's his fault, but I know that blind spots exist and I chose to drive there. So like for me, I'm like, I'm not going to take responsibility to be like, hey, let me pay for all this. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to say like, hey, this, like, I could have avoided that. That was kind of my fault. I was like stupid to drive there where he can't see me. Right. So like taking it to that kind of level. All right. So welcome to the group, man. You're in the right place. We got a ton of videos in here that you can check out from the past. Anything that you're struggling with, we're about to put them into LeadSnap in a video library. We've been working really hard to get this thing out. Our developers have started on it. So I've got somebody chopping up like all the videos, breaking them down by topic. So it's going to be this awesome like Netflix type library. I don't know if I can say like, can we say Netflix? But it's going to be this awesome library of like, broken up by topic that you guys can have access to with a subscription. So I'm really excited to help you guys out with that. I think no matter where you are, whether you're at $0 or you're at 40, 50, 100K a month, there's going to be stuff in there that is going to be advantageous for you. So look for that to be rolled out here in the next couple of weeks. So we've already got like something very similar in our application with the video training for LeadSnap. This is going to be like the coaching library of like business strategies, how to rank a GMB, how to get a GMB, how to close a deal. Like the video, we're going to cut parts from this video tonight and we're going to put it in there. Okay, cool. Does anybody have any questions before we get into tonight's lesson? So the theme for tonight is going to kind of be how to close a client in the next week, right? How are we going to do that? So we don't have anything in place yet, maybe, but we're going to try to close. We're going to try to close someone. And just, I'm going to preface this. This is how I would do it. And there's a lot of different strategies on this. And I know that there's other really good groups that teach, slight twists of this, but I'm going to tell you mine and I'm going to tell you why. So when you go to structure your deal, if you apply what I'm going to teach you tonight and you really get after it, I'm a firm believer that every single one of you guys can close a deal in the next week. So here is how I structure things is we have a startup fee. Okay. So if you decide that you are going to, if you decide you're going to take money up front, people are going to want a result, right? And if you decide that, hey, I want to take a monthly fee, but I don't have anything in place, you kind of have two options. One is that you can just have this person pay and like hope that they stay, and you can rank the site quick enough that you can bring them leads and keep them as a client. And you can say, hey, look, you're going to make this up on the back end. Like we tried that. That was like version 1. Like, hey, you're going to pay every month, and then someday we're going to have value to, and you're going to make it back. And we had that work, and it was like marginally successful. The second way is you could run ads. If you're not good at running ads, then this is going to be an uphill battle. If you are good at running ads, I think it's still going to be an uphill battle, because I think what's going to happen for a lot of people is you're going to spend almost all the money on ads, and you're going to be spending time monitoring the ads. And so you're not really making money, but then you also have pressure of the client to say like, hey, I'm paying you a monthly fee. And around month 3 or 4, if the ads are not doing well, they're going to bounce. And you would have like paid for a lot of the building of this because you've collected some money. And then there's the third way is what we rotated to, and we've been happy with. And it's still like there's some unpredictability with this. So the third way is we charge a startup fee. For us, we are going into niches where the average ticket item is between $1,500, it's at least $1,500, right? And I really like it to be even more than that, because then you don't need as many leads for this person to break even, right? So, and second, when you go into a niche like that, where the average ticket cost is higher, it's usually going to be a business that is more complicated to start. Like if you try to go into like carpet cleaning, well, anyone with a van can rent a carpet cleaning machine from Home Depot and charge $80 to clean a room, which means there's going to be a ton of competition. But if you go into like swimming pool building, these people have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment. They need licenses when they're doing something that costs that much. Then that thins out a lot of the competition, and the lead value is higher. But if you go too high, like a swimming pool builder, that might be $40,000, $50,000 to install that, which means the volume of the leads is going to go down because you're requiring like people to spend a ton of money. So I think there's kind of like a sweet spot between like, somewhere around like $2,000 to $4,000, where that's the average ticket cost, where there's like a lot of volume, it thins out the competition. For those of you guys, I think it could make sense to do some due diligence as you like and kind of mix this into this strategy. So that is how I would do it. If you guys haven't set up a payment processor, a good way to do it is Stripe. They charge, about 3%. Credit card, you can put them on billing. You can get them into the system. It can help you. As you scale, it can help you identify. I'll say this with a caveat because but it can help you identify if someone hasn't paid you that month. So in our agency, I just realized we had some we had a hole in our accounting, and I realized there was a few clients that hadn't paid in a long time, because Stripe charges a few times and it fails, and they'll like pull them out of the sequence, and then it will no longer register as a failed payment. And like, that's stupid, but that's how it works. But Stripe is an easy way to, there's a lot of other systems out there. I have no affiliation with them or anything, but that's just what we've used in our agency. Within Stripe, if you get your people to do the ACH, then instead of it being like 3%, it's a max of $5. So 3% at $1,500, I think, is like $54. So $54 versus $5 for ACH. If you're like, so our minimum monthly is $1,500. So we collect the startup fee, and what we tell them is, hey, we're going to take the startup fee. Don't pay anything. You're not going to be asked to pay anything until leads start to come in. Okay. So that takes the pressure off of you, and it makes them more comfortable. It makes it easier to close. And honestly, you're not really going to start to make money until the thing ranks anyways. Even if you're running ads and you're collecting $1,500 a month, you may need to spend $1,500 a month to keep them happy, right? So like if you aren't collecting the monthly and you're just doing the work, it takes the pressure off. Okay. So when the leads start to come in, then you tell them like, hey, based on the lead volume, this is what we think. And I would know what that number is. And hey, we think the leads are worth like $40 per lead in your industry. So, if like, whatever, 25 leads are coming in, then it'll be $1,000 a month. And like the way we're going to set this up is like, as we increase the leads that are coming to you, we're going to raise the rent. And, if I'm putting $10 in your pocket and I take $1 back, then does it make sense for me to when I put $20 in your pocket to take $2 back? So we're going to grow together. And the way that we structured this is a great line that you guys should like incorporate this into your game. So this is what I said that has meant a lot to people. So what most SEO agencies are going to do is they're going to come in and they're going to tell you, hey, it's like $1,500 a month. And when you're giving fake numbers, it's important that like numbers that are just like hypothetical, don't say $100 or $500. You want to start anchoring them to a number that's going to be in the ballpark. And so like, hey, what most SEO agencies are going to do is they're going to say, hey, it's $1,500 a month, and I want you to pay me this. And at some point, you're going to make this back. And I don't like that, because anyone who tells you that is they don't understand that Google is unpredictable. There's no like playbook that says like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, then on day 90, you're going to automatically rank in Google. That's not how it works. So don't set the expectations that way for your client. You can actually gain more trust by letting them know, like, we can't exactly be sure. We know that this is going to work. We've done this all over the country, and it's worked. It's just a question of when. So the way that we've shifted it to is like, you don't pay anything else until the lead starts to come in, and then you're going to pay based on this. And the reason we've set this up is when we don't have a contract, so you can cancel anytime. But the reason we've set this up the way it has is we're setting it up to grow together. So that's why, like, you succeed, I succeed. There's not a lot of SEO agencies who have built it this way. And that's why we kind of call this more of a partnership. Obviously, we're not taking any equity in your business, but this is a partnership since we've kind of aligned our goals together, right? So these are some of the lines that we have used to close people successfully for years, and it's worked really well. There's a lot more to this sales process. We have a lot of videos on sales, but like there's a lot of positioning that's going into this, a lot of psychology. The words that are in this pitch, and you guys can play this back, the words that are in this have been tested and chosen, and you need to be doing this. Don't be doing this like, like this little weak baby who's trying to deliver this pitch. You need to do it with confidence. Like I was talking to Spencer a little bit before the call, and he was talking about how he's smooth now with his pitch and he's very confident. That's a big deal. This confidence, when someone is sure that you are sure, like it comes across really clear. If you're wavering and you're not sure, then like people can sniff that out. So you've got this group, you've got a lot of successful people in here, you've got a ton of strategies. If you guys go and like, hey, it's hard for me to be sure that I can do this stuff. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not going to do it for you. And like Jeff or anyone else on my team is not going to do it for you. But I'll tell you, the strategies that we have taught in this group absolutely will work. And if you believe that and trust that, you can sell that with certainty. And the people in this group will support you, and the software will support you. So, for those of you guys that have subscriptions, you see the effort that we put into our support. The group is a free group, but we still try to get in there and try to help you guys get to the next level, right? So if you believe in those and you believe in that system, then I ask you, like, take the plunge and be certain with this, because there's a lot of people in this group that have your back. That's how this community was started, right? So when you go into this, you have to have some confidence, or it's just not going to work. And part of this is a numbers game. It's not going to work with everyone. And if you're new and you're pitching people the first time, then like have the anticipation that you're not going to be good as this now as you are going to be on pitch number 25, 50, 100. You just get better and better. Like Spencer said, like when he first started, it was different than how he is now. So he said, I think he said he is as smooth as butter. That's what he said. And now he's got, you know, he just did another version of this pitch. And Spencer, how many people did you say you had lined up?
Yeah, so today I'm pulling up my spreadsheet right now, but it's, you know, I think we've got 20 people raise their hands for the video audit today. I'm super confident you guys and what we do will close 50% of these people. That's life-changing. That's gonna probably project us to that next level that Patrick talks about, from that 30-ish mark that we're at to probably another 10K a month on the books. So
that's awesome, Spencer. And like you see 20, he's got 20 appointments from this method. It's like, I don't know other methods out there that are better than this. 20 appointments from like one post, right? So it's lights out. And then so it's just kind of like a 1-2 punch, right? So first of all, the first one is to get the attention. Okay. So I'm gonna teach you guys this strategy. And you know, Spencer and I have, Spencer, you tried this. So let's kind of like get into some of the stuff here. And then you've added more tweaks to it. And then there's a cool strategy that I didn't even know existed that Spencer just told me about that I think is going to be amazing for you guys. But Spencer, the process is, let's do this. Well, I'm going to circle back to you in just a second. Let me get into, oh man, did I close that window? I had this all lined up for you guys. Give me 1 second, guys. So Spencer, you were at, you were stuck, if I'm correct, you were stuck at 10K a month for about 2 years, right?
yeah, correct. Basically owning a full-time insurance agency and doing this on the side, I got to 10K. The pandemic hit. Obviously everybody was stuck at home. And that's when my agency kind of got to that 10K mark on a consistent basis. And then I was stuck there for about the last 2 years until November of last year when you and I chatted.
Okay. And then the first time you ran this strategy, it kind of like died. And then we went and we kind of reworked it, right?
Yeah. So I don't remember the first kind of script or post that you and I put together was a little bit too salesy.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit as good as it could have. You and I kind of polished it up. And that's basically what I used again today to land a whole bunch of appointments.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to give you the basics of the strategy first, and then we're going to talk about the polishing of it. Okay, 1 second here. Desktop 3. Okay, cool. So Spencer, give me a thumbs up. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. So I have found a Facebook group, and this is the beginning of the strategy here, is these Facebook groups. If you guys are not in like an industry, there's a caveat here, is like, like Facebook groups, they're great. And before you decide like, hey, I'm going to build out like 10 sites in this one niche, don't do that. Like build out a few of them. I want you guys to run around the bases and like close a deal in a niche before you decide I'm going to build out 100 of these, because you're going to learn that there are mistakes to be made, and what may appear as a good niche may not be a good niche. And once you have completed an orbit where you've like, I've built it, I've ranked it, I found a client, I've got leads coming in, I'm getting paid by the client. At that point, you can make the decision of whether you want to scale this thing or not, because there are so many hidden things in there that are really hard to discover until you've done every step. So if you guys can, again, I'm asking you to trust me on this. Don't build out a ton of sites in one niche until you're like comfortable with that niche, because you could discover that there's like a snake in the grass hiding that you haven't thought of. House cleaning is not a niche that I would go into at all. Like the ticket cost is way too low. I'm just in this group as an example. Okay, or I guess I'm not even in this group. I found this group. Okay, so here's the strategy. This group has 18,000 people. I encourage you guys to join these like industry specific, the niches that you're exploring. Join the groups that are associated with those. if you guys already have like your process dialed in and you know that this is the niche, 100% get in those groups, and then you scale all you want. But first, like make sure you really like it. Okay, so here's one thing. Here was the initial strategy that I taught, was like looking through the group and trying to find the people in this group that are really giving the most value. The people that are probably going to be friends with the most people within this group, that are the, in a sense, like the most popular or the most active people. Okay. And then you're going to give them a gift. You're going to give them a gift, and the gift is an SEO audit or a GMB audit, right? So we're going to use the heat map, because these people are in here, they're businesses, they're in here with this like business group. So the idea is to locate a business within this. And the reason that you're choosing someone that's really active is because you want to be giving something to the person that is going to have the most visibility within the group, right? So here's the pitch, or the kind of the here's what you're going to do is like, hey, let's pretend it's this. Okay, I'm just going to kind of scroll through this. I'm not doing the part that I just explained, but you guys should do that. Is like, this person's looking for someone, and you can see this like guy right here, David Rayner. This is probably his company, or for some reason he's sharing this. So if I were to go and find this company, which apparently has no name, but what you can do is like, I bet that David Rayner here, I'm betting this is his. Okay, so he's got a handyman service. Okay, so that's not him, but you're going to use this to track down the business person. So we see Erica Affordable Cleaning, and she probably doesn't have a website. Maybe I should have chosen a group where people have websites, because I think cleaners have business cards instead of websites. So the point is, I'm going to go, okay, we've got this like, well, that's work from home on Amazon. This person is really, David Rayner, for being a handyman, he is just really pushing this other person's site. It's probably his wife or something, huh? Okay. Gosh, this is unbelievable. None of these people have websites. I shouldn't have chose this group. E-Maids of Miami. So this person they actually have their GMB here, don't they? Okay, so this is ultimately what we're looking for, is we want to find their GMB, and we can see that this is their website. So what I like to do is I like to read their story about them a little bit. And if I can get the person's name, then I will do that. And I love to see that we have reviews, right? They've got 6 reviews here. We're amazed, blah, blah, blah. They're all positive reviews. So that's good. This is a good, had this been in a good niche, right? Like landscaping or something like that, where it's going to be a lot of money, but maybe landscaping is too competitive. Don't like take these like hypothetical niches that I mentioned and be like, Patrick said, go into that niche. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's going to be different in every city and every market for like how difficult it can be. So that's a lot of what matters. But if you got people reaching out to you to give you money, then then hey, maybe you can take it and we can beat these people. But okay, so I've got this person, and let's pretend that I found their name, and their name is we'll say it's Sammy. Okay, so we got Sammy, who owns this E-Maids. And now I'm going to do, I'm back in Facebook, and I'm going to make a screencast video. So screencast, there's a lot of different ones that you can use. You can use Loom. Vimeo has a service where you can do Vimeo. Screencast-O-Matic is one that I've used for a long time. What's cool about Screencast-O-Matic is there's like some built-in editing stuff. I think it's like $50 a year. Really, really good, really powerful for how cheap it is. You can record your screen, and you can do like cuts and stuff like that. So here is basically what a pitch is going to look like is I am going to get this person's heat map, right? So I'm going to go over here, and to get the heat map, I can copy this link, and then I'm going to paste it into here. And then this is going to redirect me. So that share link is not the map URL, and we need the map URL. So now that I have it, I'm going to go over into this awesome software called LeadSnap. And I'm going to go to the heat map area, and then I'm going to go to map URL, and I'm going to paste this in here. And then if this person has mentioned or given me a clue of something that they care about with how they have set up their site. So for instance, cleaning services, Broward County. right? So that is something they care about. So I'm taking that keyword and I'm going back over in here and I'm going to paste it in here. And then I'm going to set this up to do 1 mile. And then over here, I'll do 13 by 13. We have meters. If you're outside the United States, you can switch over to that. And I'm going to click, I could shape this and move this around if I wanted to, right? And I could draw, like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is pretty cool. So if I don't really want the rankings out over the ocean. I'm not trying to get the cleaning service from like boats that are cruising around. So I'm just going to draw this over here like this. And I'm going to hit this Miami area. So, okay, cool. And when I connect this, it's just going to reshape this a little bit. You'll see that it's moved over all the dots inside of my square. Okay, cool. So I'm going to click on start heat map and that thing should run. So you see right here, this happens sometimes when the system's a little bit busier. It will say not started, but it usually you'll get put into a queue for a minute and then it will start. And even though this is my software, I still get put into the queue like you guys. Okay, so we're going to let this run for a minute, but we're going to go back into Facebook. And here's the pitch that we're gonna use. And I'm actually just going to pull one up. We're going to pretend that this is like Sammy's maid company here, not HVAC San Diego King, but I've already got this one done. So Sammy, you know, I saw that you are really active. So this is my pitch to Sammy, and I could just make this video and I could put it into the group, and I could go something like this. So it could go, "Hey Sammy, I know that you're in this house cleaning group, and you're always helping people, and you know it's awesome to see. I really appreciate that, and you know you guys are clearly talented. I see that you have reviews. I see that you guys have been in business for 9 years. So I'm pulling out a couple pieces of information that let her know that I've done a little bit of research, right? So I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to use that as a part of my pitch. So I see that you guys have been in business for 9 years and you've got reviews. You only have 6 of them. And you know, the reviews are actually a ranking factor. So this is like, feel free to give away the farm here. Don't hold back on SEO strategies that that you're worried that like Sammy who cleans houses, hey, I don't want to give her all this SEO strategies because then she doesn't need me. And all of a sudden she's going to have this like SEO seizure where she's gone from being this like house cleaner to this SEO map. That's not going to happen. She's a house cleaner, right? There's no chance that is going to happen. So give away the farm here, because when you do that, you build trust. And this video that we're going to put into this group is not only for Sammy, it's for the entire group. It's for all of Sammy's following. You're going to have this heat map. I would encourage you when this video starts, start it with the heat map. Show the little map with the grid points. That will suck people in. Okay, so we're going to say like, Sammy, I know that you guys have been in business and I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to grab this. So if I come down here, these are the different people that showed up in this heat map search that I ran, and we've got them sorted by average. So this one is on top. So I'm going to go down here. This is probably going to be more, we'll even go further because I don't think Sammy's going to be ranking too well. Okay, so we'll pretend that this is Sammy's heat map that came back in Miami, and this is how they're ranking it. So Sammy, what this is showing you right here, you want to really make sure that you're pitching. You want to make sure that you're not showing up as a marketer. So you want to say like, hey, I don't want anything back for this. We've just done this in a lot of markets. We've had a lot of luck with it. It's worked really, really well. And I appreciate everything that you've done in this group to try to help people out. And I want to give something back. So I want you to take some of these strategies and put them into your business, because I think it's really going to make a difference for you. It's going to create a lot more business for you. So that's the attitude that you want to go in with, not like marketer commission breath, right? Just like go in as a gift. Right? I'm helping you. I don't want anything for it. Good Samaritan. That's your attitude here. That's the vibe. That's the energy. You want to do it with a lot of confidence and certainty. And you'll do that when you start to give away the farm, then like the value comes through. They believe in you. You're not asking for anything back. It's a complete pattern interrupt, which is a fantastic sales method. And that's why Spencer's having the success he is. It's like, it's complete pattern interrupt. You're not calling them like, hey, I can get you on the first page of Google. Do you want the first page of Google is awesome? Blah, like, no, it's like, hey, this is how you can get yourself. I don't want anything for it. Okay, and their response is like, oh man, that's super cool of this guy. Patrick is awesome because he's not trying to pitch me something, is just trying to help me. But holy cow, does Patrick know what he's talking about? I need him to help me. Like, I know that's not what he wanted, but I absolutely need his help. So here's some of the stuff.
For a second on that.
Yeah.
I know you're on a roll, but let me chime in because this is very important, you guys. When I first started my pitch, I was not talking in this manner. And it was killing deals. It was more of that salesy type of thing. If you come from this place of just helping people and knowing that you're an expert, well, there's two things that I do in my audits. When I'm doing these type of audits, I assume, unless they're reaching out to us, this is kind of like a somewhat of a cold audit, I guess. Lukewarm audit. They don't know what to expect. So I always refer back to, hey, I would have your marketing company go ahead and optimize your back end of your Google My Business listing and add this and add that. Oh, by the way, I would have your website person go ahead and add more content, and so you're talking in those words. And the one thing you guys have to understand about humans, they want to be like everybody else. They go, oh crap, I don't have a marketing person. Oh, I don't have a website person. Oh crap. But this Spencer guy, I feel like I can trust because he's giving me all this value up for free and he hasn't asked for a dime. Let me book an appointment with him.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that. It's Spencer, that was part of the problem at the beginning when I think you sent over this video and I said, dude, you sound too much like a marketer, right? Like get rid of this like marketing feel, right? I think that was with you, right? I'm pretty sure.
That was me. Plus the script was a little bit, or the post was a little bit different. We tweaked both.
Right. I'm going to get into the tweaks that you've done. But okay. So huge point though. This is a gift. It's kind of like this Trojan horse that you're putting in there where it's like, it shows up as like, hey, we're giving you this gift, but there's this really sneaky thing that's happening where you already know what their reaction is going to be to someone who's just giving value and doing it in a way where you're kind of like pattern interrupting and you're establishing yourself as an expert. So all of those things are phenomenal for closing. Okay. So as I go through this, I'm going back into my pitch to Sammy here. So Sammy, let me explain to you what we have here. So this area, so if I do like made service, or actually, I think I still have it, cleaning service, Broward County, right? So oops, am I still sharing? Yeah, okay. All right, so these are the search results that come up, and this is what we call the Google guaranteed. So people are paying to be in this area. And then next we have the Google ads, and then following we have the Google My Business. So the Google My Business area here, this map area, this is the most important part to rank within a local search engine. Depending on the niche, you're going to get 50 to 70% of the 50 to 70% of the clicks are going to happen in this area, right? So this is the most important area to rank. And let me show you how you are ranking in this area. So I have this really cool tool and I've prepared something for you. So this tells me how you are ranking at different spots. So the thing about this area here, Sammy, is as we move across town, our rankings change a lot within this area. So where I am now, I could go 2 miles down the road and I can have completely different results. It will also change if I go to my site and my Google My Business. Often Google sees that hang on one second, guys. I've got a crying cat here. Hold on.
Jeff, this is where you're supposed to improv, do a little improv. Tell us a joke, Jeff.
Well, you're the one using this strategy. I haven't actually used this in a long time. I used it when I first got into this business when I had beta access to the platform and it worked phenomenal. But I mean, you've really perfected it, and I was using it in a very rudimentary way back then. So
we have, like I said, we're no longer trying to we get referrals and we've got like a backlog of stuff that we have to catch up with. So we're not actively prospecting. We're like, let's get all of our processes dialed in right now. So that's kind of why we're not using it. But I know this, I've seen this kill it and I know this works. So
yeah, it's been a great example of that for sure.
Yeah. And it killed it for us when we were using it too. I've done this and it was like lights out. So, okay. So this Google My Business area, it changes a lot as we move across town, right? So, and if you are constantly looking at your Google My Business, Google knows that. And when you do a search, it's artificially going to move you up on your phone, but not everyone else's, because it's trying to give you what you're looking for. And what this tool does is it will show you your ranking. So notice that it's on top of a map, right? So this is your ranking at the location on the map. So if I were to make this big and kind of zoom in, I can see over here in Sierra Mesa, you're ranking 6th. If I had searched for this, like whatever the term is, cleaning service, Broward County, if I had searched for that in Sierra Mesa, then I would be 6th. And if I had performed the search over here, I would be 20th or worse. And I'll tell you, if we go back to our Google My Business, you'll notice that there's only really 3 that are showing up here, right? Everything else is on this next page. And the way this works is the top position is going to get the most clicks on the entire page within this area. And the second is going to get the second most clicks on the page. And the third is going to get the third most. And fourth is going to fall off a cliff and no one even knows that they exist. So if you're not in these top 3 positions, you're usually not going to be found. And what's great is that you are in these top positions in an area here. So some of the strategies I want to teach you is like, hey, we've done this for our cleaning company or for this other cleaning company. We did this and it was very successful. And I want to share some of the stuff that worked for us. Like I said, I don't want anything for it. Just take this stuff and apply it to your business so that you can experience some of the success that we have. So here's what I would do is, first of all, I'm going to send you a link to this so you can click on this map and you can play with it yourself and you can see these results. So if I zoom in on this and I say that, like, okay, I've got these 5s. So the 5s are closer to 3s than like the 20s. So like we'd have to move this a lot further. So we want to focus on the ones that are closer. So I'm going to use the strategy. So you can see like right here, North Claremont. So you guys have a website, and on your website, we could add some content that talks about North Claremont. We know this area. Google's trying to understand what who's the most relevant for this search. And you can kind of build some of that relevance by adding content on your website that talks about it. What if your photos are named with like Claremont Cleaning Service, Broward County, right? What if somebody happens to post a question on your Google My Business that says, hey, do you guys provide cleaning service in Broward County, right? So if we go back, we can look, there's an area here where people can post questions. And like if we scroll down here, there's an option to write a review. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. And then somewhere in here, you guys find this before you do this pitch, but there's a spot in here where you can ask, maybe it's this Ask the Community. Is that what it's called now? Yeah, ask a question. So if someone were to ask a question that talked about an area, like, hey, do you guys provide cleaning service in, what was the name of that? Claremont something? Yeah, in Claremont. Like if those keywords in that city are mentioned, then we build relevance, right? If a review comes in that mentions this. So I'll tell you, like, there's a lot of great softwares out there that do this. Where we use LeadSnap to get reviews for ours. And you can just let people know, like, hey, we would love to hear your feedback. So after you do a job and the people are happy, you've created an asset. Reviews will help you rank. They'll help your Google My Business rank. So if you get more reviews, then maybe the 6 will turn to a 3, right? And the more reviews we get, the bigger this will be. And what I'd like to do is like mention this antenna. So wherever you mailed this Google My Business is like an antenna, right? And the larger the antenna, the closer you are to the antenna, the stronger the signal will be. But also, as we get more reviews and as we get more content on our site, and we can actually do something within the Google My Business called a post, and we can talk about the cities and the keywords that we want. And each one of those things we do, it's like our antenna gets a little bit taller. So we're going to try to make this antenna as tall as possible, right? So you're going through, and I would also go out to her site, look at this stuff and say, what you don't want to do, you don't want to get in the weeds with like SEO jargon, okay? You need to notice how I'm speaking to Sammy. I'm speaking to her in a way that I could talk to someone who doesn't know anything about SEO and they would understand it. Don't come in here talking about backlinks and like whatever, all citations and like things that they don't know about and they don't understand. You're gonna lose them. They're gonna space out. Don't do that. Keep it basic, keep it simple, explain it in a terms that they can understand. So like, hey, your website, it looks nice. It looks like you guys have a good amount of content. If they didn't have content, I would say, hey, like, let's make sure that we mention all the different services that we're trying to target, because it's almost like Google has a hat and you need to put your name in that hat. And when you have a service, that's like putting it, if we mention the service on the homepage or on one of these pages, we're putting our name in the hat for that service. So if you don't have it, then we need to add it, right? So we need to get some more, I would recommend that you added some more content related to like this. I would recommend that you add more content related to the areas that you want to target, right? Let people know that you're in those areas. So reviews, posts, all kinds of stuff like this, and go through. There's obviously more strategies that we can use for Google My Business, but this is kind of the essence of it. So you've got this screencast, and what you're going to do is you're going to go into this house cleaning spot. You're going to make this post, craft the post in a way that doesn't sound like a marketer. Okay, so now when Spencer did this, like his first video was like in the post where they're a little marketing, they had that marketing scent to them, right? So he got put into that marketing bucket, and then like people are like turned off. So then Spencer and I got on a call, and we came up with a strategy of like, hey, you know what? We've had our best quarter ever, and part of our mission with our business is to give back. We need to like be giving back to people. So as a gift, I don't want anything for this. You're like, notice that, right? That's staying consistent. I don't want anything for this, but I'm going to do 10 audits. I'm going to do 10 marketing audits, right? Spencer, what else is in your post that I'm missing here that you've tweaked it? That was kind of where we came up with. I think that worked really well for you, but then you've added in some additional like little triggers in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I posted it over in the chat feature and on the Zoom call for people. I'm just asking people to go ahead and change it up a little bit. Obviously, it's not pertinent to this time of the year, but I was trying to really, I took that and I modified it a little bit because it was prior to Christmas time and the holidays. I wanted to really push 2022 and make people have the best year possible. Now, like today's post was really just kind of stripped down and wanted to make sure that everybody had a great end of the year. So just modify it, just take that kind of format and make it pertinent to what's going on, even if you have to fib just a little bit with your agency.
Yeah, I'm just going to read this because the Zoom stuff is going to disappear. But here's the pitch. And Jeff, if you can just copy this so that we can maybe include that as a part of the post or something. But he says, hey guys, we had our best quarter ever in our company, and part of our mission is to give back. I would like to help out a few of you guys with the Google My Business audit. I don't want anything. This is not a pitch. Just to be clear, I'm not trying to sell anything. This is some free advice to help a few people out, few people set things up for an awesome 2022. These take me some time to do, so I'm only going to do 10. So he's creating scarcity. That's a really smart and basic sales tactic to do, like create scarcity and not like, hey, I'm just going to like give stuff away forever. That just doesn't seem like as valuable. There's a closing window here. You need to act fast, right? So these take some time to do, so I'm only going to do 10. If you're interested, shoot me a PM or add a comment to this post with a link to your business page or website. Okay, so Spencer got a ton of comments, and Spencer, I looked through your post after you kind of sent this, or I think you sent me a video of it. Anyways, I noticed that you were including the video in the comments, right? Like you're basically putting that video out into the world so that you're giving yourself the opportunity for other people to see that you're an expert on this topic, right? Like people that haven't commented on this post, they can still see the video. I saw that there was a question in the group here that said, are you doing this? Are you giving the audit in a private message? So like, I wouldn't do it that way. I would put it in the group, because this post that I was doing the pitch for, it's not for Sammy. It's for everyone else in the group. Sammy may like it or not like it, but if there's 25,000 people in the group, I care more about them than this random person who I picked out. She is just my vehicle to create this video and show that I'm an expert on this. That's like kind of her function in this. So it's not really about Sammy or whatever that E-Maids of Miami is. Like, it's not about that. It's about me having a platform to demonstrate that I'm an expert and have everyone else see it in a marketing confrontational, I want to sell you something way. That's what that's all about, right? So
I would just caution just a little bit. It depends on whose group that is. My own personal contractors group, it's about 2,000 people. I don't care about like what I'm going to basically hit this thing as homers every time. But there's a couple coaching groups that I initially had done this strategy in, where the coaches had reached out and were like, dude, can you stop posting your video audits like within the group every time? So now what I do is just comment it, and then I'm also hitting them up in a messenger just to make sure they get it. And there's a different strategy that Patrick and I are going to talk about with that for sure.
Yeah, so there's the possibility that you're going to piss off some admins and moderators if like they're gonna, if you do this again and again, then they start to understand it. So like there's a lot of tweaks on this. This is the foundation, and after you have the foundation, then you can like make these adjustments and play with it. And like I'll tell you, what works for Spencer with his delivery is not going to be the same thing that works for me with my delivery, right? Like I'm going to have my own style that I'm going to come with, and maybe it happens that Spencer's and I are similar, and when you go to do it, it can be completely different. So you need to, this strategy works. It absolutely works. You might need to tweak it for your own nuances and how you come across, right? So we all have our own strengths and weaknesses, so just kind of be cognizant of that. And I would encourage you guys, you guys can share your videos inside LeadSnap, and we'll give you feedback, right? So I would almost say this, Jeff, let's run a contest here. Whoever shares the most videos of doing these audits within LeadSnap over the next week, I'll give you guys, let's say 100 heat maps on me, like that never expire. So I know
I have to sit this one out.
What?
Do I sit this one out?
No, get in there, man. Like,
okay, man.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
over,
Like
man. It's over.
Spencer
You might
loves
as
to
well snap
compete.
my account.
Yeah, Spencer loves to compete, and
Where are we?
we'll say it's at least 100. If I'm really impressed with someone's output, then I'll take it. I'll say like, hey, that was more than I expected. I'll give you more. Obviously, you need a LeadSnap account. You can't be using some. I know we have competitors on the heat map. If I see that, I'm like, I'm not giving you. You got to have an account, right? Well, maybe, yeah. You got to have an account. Like you got to have an account, right? So, okay.
So where are we sharing videos, Patrick? How does that work?
What's that?
Where are we sharing these videos? We're
in Facebook. Throw it in the Facebook group.
The Facebook group. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys go put it in there. Tag me, tag Jeff. Jeff, I hope I don't blow your Facebook up, but tag us so that we know. We'll count this. You can send me so you've got until the call starts next week. That's the deadline. So 7:30 Eastern time, whatever day that is that August 3rd, maybe? So that's when this contest ends. Whoever has the most, you're going to get at least 100 heat maps. If you impress me, I might give you more. Right?
Hey, Patrick, did you say something about a T-shirt too? Sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, sorry. I need to get our swag. I've got this guy Frank. I need to get with him. Once we have our swag, I will make that easier. I hate to like promise you a T-shirt that I don't have right now, and I'm like, I've only got a couple of these that I wear, and I try to have clean clothes. So if I don't want to give these away, they are coming, and that will be a part of it. We're gonna have the T-shirts, sweatshirts, a couple other things, I think. But yes, that is going to be a really good thing. I would give it away, Alfredo, especially to you. I know you're always in there trying to help people, but we don't have them right now. But coming soon, coming to the theaters near you. Okay, cool. So, all right. So whoever has the most pitches, you guys got the pitch, right? Put the video in there, put a screenshot of your post in the group. I don't want you just like rattling off videos. This is meant to help you guys land deals. I am a big believer. Whoever I can almost promise you, whoever wins this contest, the 100 or whatever heat maps you get is not really going to be the prize. The prize is going to be realizing that you can close people, because whoever wins this contest is going to close they're going to have new business. It's just like, I can almost promise you that's the case. I can't imagine that you're doing all these, putting this in the group, using the strategy and not closing people, right? And if you are, if you're really struggling with this, here's another level is like, if you guys are struggling with closing of the people, but you also win this contest, I might be willing to throw in like, hey, let's do a one-on-one coaching where we talk about sales and maybe you and I go and try to close these people together, right? I want you guys to succeed with this stuff. And this contest is meant to help you guys get yourself out of your own way, right? If you can get out of your comfort zone and not try to like make the perfect video, get out there and get going, right? Then like, that's where success is going to lie, right? So you got to have, I want to light a fire into your ass so that you can get out of your own way and actually go in there and close some people. So cool. I'm excited for this. I love this. Spencer says he's going to kill it. Alfredo says it's on. Oh, I'm sorry. Emery says it's on. Yeah, let's see it. And come on, guys. Like, guys, don't let these 2 or 3 people run you guys over. This is a contest for all of you guys. You don't have to be. Basically, everything that you need to know is if you just do the script I gave you, you can watch this video as many times as you want, turn it into a machine, practice it on your own, and then prepare your video and get it out there. You know, like this idea that we have to be perfect is it's flawed, right? Like when I do the pitch, I could watch it and be like, man, I could change this and improve that point. Like while you're over there trying to like sharpen the perfect weapon, someone else is over here like cashing in nonstop, right? So there's people out there that are more successful than you, that have less skills than you. And the reason that they've had that success is because they just decided to take action sooner. So, all right, cool. All right.
Patrick,
yeah.
What if you utilize it, like for me, I utilize it on Upwork, not necessarily the Facebook group. Would that count?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. If like, I love this, like take it and put it somewhere else. It doesn't have to be Facebook, but this idea of kind of like using it as a way to pitch and get it in front of people is the key. And getting you guys to take action is the key, right? So Spencer had been stuck at 10K for 2 years. And as I said, I know at least like 6 other people, like Jarrett Miller, Adam McChesney. There's a bunch of these people that took this same strategy and they ran with it and they closed a bunch of deals. So Spencer had been stuck just like you, Mike, right? You're at that 10K spot. You've been there for, I think you said a year and a half. Spencer was there for 2 years. Spencer, what 3 months later, what was your income after implementing the strategy?
Sorry, I was already posting in the group.
Oh,
I'm getting a head start. I'm getting that one-on-one coaching and some heat maps.
There you go, man.
Where I was like, I mean, this thing just snowballed extremely quickly. So after that 10K, it was 15, 20. Now we're consistent 30K months, and I'm doing my best to consistently break that. I mean, we've been to 33, 36, but like not on a consistent basis. So getting there. I mean that, and it's 100% solely based off of this. That's it.
That's all. I mean, that's a triple after being stuck for 2 years. Like your average has more than tripled essentially after being stuck there for 2 years, guys. You guys might think, we look at like surgeons and doctors and these people that are making, I don't know what they make, 20K a month. Like if like most doctors, I think are probably doing like $200,000 or $300,000 a year, and they go to school for like 16 years. So it seems like it shouldn't be this simple. We tell ourselves that there has to be like something else that I don't understand, that is the barrier. And it's not. If you can just like do some of the stuff and work smarter and kind of like laser focus on the right things, it can be very simple, right? If you have you choose the right niches. So let's say you choose the right niches where the average ticket cost is, let's say $1,000, okay? And you choose the right city, and you can create like 40 leads a month. So the person's probably going to, they're probably going to close, like, if they're good, they're probably going to close like a quarter of those. So that means you're bringing in $10,000 for them, right? And if you take 10% of that, that's $1,000. If you do that 30 times, that's $30,000 a month. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that, right? You just have to have 30 sites making $1,000 a month for $30,000 a month. And you're going to make more than a doctor who's gone to school for 16 years and is on call and has a little beeper that they have to respond to. And they're like, all these like rules and all this stuff. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. And that was really hard for me to understand, coming from, I got a degree in accounting and management information systems. And I was working as an accountant. It's like this complicated stuff. And then went from there to like playing poker for a living and playing against these like brilliant people. And like, that was really cutthroat. And then I was a software engineer and I'm like, man, this is like easier to do than playing poker for a living. And these people just send me a check and I love this stuff. And I'm like, holy cow, I can just do this. This is the easiest for me of all those past professions and the most money. And it's automated. Like you do, if you choose the right niches in the right city and you get your systems in place to pay attention, you can do this, get it to rank and put it on autopilot. We have clients that have paid us for 6 years, $1,000 a month or more, and we haven't done anything to their sites. It doesn't have to be so complicated. Okay. We've seen it time and time again from people in this group, people that have followed these lessons. You guys block out this other stuff. If you believe in this, just do this stuff, execute on it, go through the training and the lessons that we have in the group. And every single one of you guys can be successful with this, but it starts with taking action. This contest is meant to pull you out of the, put you in like maybe a spot where you're a little bit uncomfortable and create results for you. So if you guys can do this, look at what has happened with so many people like Spencer. Thank you for being on here and kind of sharing your story. Is there anything else you want to add that we've missed on the strategy?
Something new I'm playing around with that we chatted about earlier today is, so I'm sure some of you are aware there's some bots out there like Pepper. I use a software called Be Louder. And what that does is you can set it up to automatically go into these groups and befriend people. So if your niche is asphalt or concrete, whatever it is, you can go in and befriend people that say that they're the CEO or the president or the founder or owner, or whatever these keywords are. And then basically you can even set it up for the software to send them a connection request when they connect with you. A lot of people don't know this about Facebook is you guys can in order to get your newsfeed to show up in people's feeds again, if you shoot them a message, it will automatically usually bump your feed into theirs because Facebook goes, oh gosh, Patrick and Spencer haven't talked in a while, or they talk all the time. They must be buddies. So I tried this method out this morning. There was a plumber that befriended me, and I checked. He's an ideal client. He like their rigs look nice. They're uniformed. These dudes are super professional, and they're from the Arizona area. So I just said, hey, thanks Armando for the connection. How's the Arizona heat treating you? Right? Just super vague. Just all I'm trying to do is become a chameleon and see who this guy is, number one, and to see if he's like. A lot of times these guys are lurkers, right? So maybe their buddy told them about your agency, whatever the case is. So I just had small talk with him. And then next thing you know, I had posted on my personal feed about GMBs, and he's messaging me going, hey, looks like you know a thing or two about GMBs. I said, yeah, we know some things. When can we get on a call? That's the honestly, that is what happened. And then what I'm trying to do, you guys, is when people are hitting me up for whatever services, like, hey, I need a website built. Hey, I need SEO. You have to realize a lot of these people don't really realize what the heck they need because they're contractors. So I always say, hey, that's great, Mike, or hey, that's great, Jeff. Have we done an audit for you already? Right? They're like, no, like, what's that about? Hey, do you mind if we put together an audit before we jump on that call so we kind of know what we're working with? Because when you get on that call, you guys, it's going to be a waste of time. I hate to say that, but you're going to get on the call. This contractor's going to go, well, what do you think? Do you think I need like help with my website? Do you think I need help? And you're going to go, well, I don't know, sir, until I research and I take a look at things. So if you can get that research out of the way with a digital audit, with the video audit that Patrick's talking about, shoot that over. I'm usually also putting my proposal together while I do that audit, like obviously before. Then I'm sharing the way that we do our line items with per project pricing. So now they're seeing what it is you're talking about, what it's costing. They're booking the call, and usually when they book the call, then that next question is the easiest thing in the world, because they usually hang themselves and tell you exactly what's going on. Hey, Patrick, what is it that you saw in the video that made you jump on the call with me today? Well, I hate my current marketing company, or man, that really, God, that heat map really like made it. I thought we were doing a lot better than we are. Next thing you know, they've already sold themselves. They're like, I think we should start with this, or hey, I have $3,000 a month. What do you expect? Like, what should we do first? And it's the easiest close in the world, you guys. Like, I've been in sales for a decade, from knocking doors to insurance sales, and this strategy can take the guy that's like not good at sales, because the person's already sold themselves when they watch the video audit. So that's a little clue on that.
Yeah, it's killer. If you guys look on the LeadSnap homepage and you kind of scroll down to the testimonials area, you'll see person after every single, like, you guys probably already know that if you know me, every single one of those testimonials is real. Those are real people with their real stories, and it's like person after person that is using this to close deals, right? It's not always this strategy, but using the heat map as a part of the pitch is killer. There's, I think, probably 5 or 6 on there that say, hey, I was in business for 2 years, or I was in business for a year and I never closed a client. I had this and I closed the person in the first couple of weeks. You kind of blend the heat map with some of the tweaks that we have in here. And Spencer, you showed me that there's a new feature, or I think it's a new feature, where you can click like at everyone inside of Facebook, and it will actually like create a notification for everyone in the group, right?
Yeah, so I tried that out today. I think it was just released yesterday. Proceed with caution on this, you guys. You guys can really piss some people off with this, but it was my own personal group, and it's something that I've grown to 2,000 members, and so, you know, if you don't like it, you can leave. But what I did was I took that strategy that we talked about, tweaked that script today, and then it did an at everyone, and that's when everything started flowing in. So try that out. If you do have your own personal group, I'd probably tread lightly if it's not your own group that you guys own.
Yeah, and I think that part of the key to not pissing people off is the amount of credibility that you can create with this not being a pitch and being like a gift and help. Because if someone sees that it's for everyone, and this person's not, they're just trying to help, like that immediately is going to mitigate any type of frustration with them being tagged in some kind of group post. I see a number of people asking a similar question here. Are you selling them on SEO or lead gen, or both? You guys, this strategy can be used on either. It's gonna work perfect. There's not one that's necessarily going to be better than the other in regards to closing someone on the strategy. In my mind, lead gen is way better than SEO. I don't take people on for SEO, and that's our business model. Like I'll tell, like, if you can establish yourself as the best at this, then you set the rules. And our rule is we don't do your website, we do ours, right? Like we're gonna have to start over with yours, paying a monthly fee. Like, and I know that, like, hey, there's like this fast money, but if you look, and for some of you guys, maybe right now is SEO time, so that you can like get some money coming in. But I can promise you, if you compare your hourly rate, you're to track the amount of time that you spend building lead gens and the amount of time that you spend doing SEO work, and look at it 2 years from now, what's better hourly? Like the lead generation where you're owning the stuff, in my opinion, will absolutely demolish the hourly rate from SEO, right? Like I've got a site that I built that I spent probably like 60 hours total and I built it myself. I didn't have it's one of my first sites, right? And I probably spent 60 hours on it, and it's been 6 years at $1,000 a month. And I haven't touched it again, right? What's my hourly rate right now? Well, it's going to be more next month because I'm not going to touch it. And then a year from now, it's going to be more, right? I don't know of people that are telling me that their hourly is increasing every month for SEO. And I don't know people that are not doing work on SEO and just like raking in the money from it. Like I don't know that that's not a common story that I've heard. Maybe that exists, but so I'm a big believer in that. But with regards to closing someone, this will close someone equally in SEO and lead gen. The key is that you're demonstrating a high level of knowledge in a way that's a pattern interrupt. So you get past this like salesperson mentality and you can go right into the fact that, hey, like the reason that a lot of you guys struggle to close people is that they don't know you and they don't trust you and they don't know that you can deliver. But when you come in here and you give them this ton of value, you build trust, and then you're establishing yourself as an expert. So like one of the third biggest things is like, they need to like you. So if you show up like a jerk, then that's going to be a problem. But if you can just like, if you're doing this as a gift and it really comes across that way and you can just be genuine and you guys stop thinking about I know that this whole call has been like about like, hey, how we can create business with this. But if you can stop thinking about them as like a money and start thinking about them as a human who has a business that's trying to grow their business and they just want someone to help them. And you've got a tool and you've got a group that can teach you amazing strategies to help them, then they're going to like you. Like if you can come across that way, it's just like human to human, help these people and they'll pay you for it, right? You'll have an impact. It's amazing. Like it's phenomenal when all that stuff lines up. So if you can do those three things, establish trust by giving value and then establish the fact that you're an expert, right? Because of the strategies that you're conveying in this message, and then have them like you, they're sold. Those three things line up, assuming that they need this for their business and they want to grow, then they're sold. Okay. So that's what
don't overthink this stuff either, because Patrick and I have a little bit different school of thought on this. For me, a lot of times it kind of depends on what this client needs. If they want to grow their own personal brand, obviously it's going to take a lot more money and they're aware of that. I'm using that currently, the SEO piece of this, the website building, that's not crap I want to be doing in the future. We're going to be definitely 100% rank and rent, but I'm using that quick cash grab to fund my properties, as well as also using it as a screener, because sometimes, man, I'm telling you guys might build a property. It's happened to me where the dude turns out to be a total dick and you don't want to work with him anymore. And now you're stuck with this property and you're like, God, man, I wish I would have known this. So with us growing their personal brand, it allows us to develop that relationship with these people and then pivot to go, hey, you know what? Like, would you guys be interested in us building an HVAC site in Knoxville for you? Well, yeah, because you guys have done so much for us already. We want to grow in Knoxville, and then you give them that option. So that's what's been working great for us. So there's not a right way or a wrong way. I think a lot of times us as humans, we want to overthink things. And so stop overthinking, just put yourself out there, as scary as it is.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely no right or wrong way. For us, I like all these, no one is ever going to come to you and be like, hey, can you build this site and I'll pay you for it and I won't own it. And then like, you'll own it and I'll just pay you forever. Can we set up a deal like that? Like no one is ever going to come to you and say that. They're going to come and say, can you give me SEO? And then, my strategy is like, I'll build this, and you're going to pay something up front so you have some skin in the game. And if they turn out to be a dick and I don't like them, like it's not the worst thing in the world because I own the property. They've paid for the funding of it. And now I'm just going to put it on someone else that I like in the same market. So I personally don't view that as a risk, but the point is like, you guys get in the game. Let's start playing, right? Let's find out what you like, find out what works for you. And if you're sitting on the sideline trying to like time the like you're like on Frogger and you're like waiting for all these cars to go by to like finally jump out there, like just jump and figure it out, guys. You're going to be 100% better the second time you do this. And the sooner you do the first time, the sooner the second time will come. So I want to wrap this call up, guys. We're almost at 90 minutes. Spencer, really appreciate everything. Thank you so much for sharing your awesome strategies here and what's been working for you. You guys, all right, you got the contest. The game is on. Let's go. Let's see who's going to make a difference. Like I said, whoever wins this contest, the more valuable piece to this is going to be the the fact that you have new business coming in. Like whoever wins this contest, I can almost guarantee you're going to have $1,000 or some additional money in your bank account from the actions that are necessary to win this contest. So, all right, you guys have an amazing week, create some wins, and we'll see you guys in the group. Thanks a lot.
Peace.
Time.